So welcome, yogis. Hi, I'm Terry from Authentic Living Yoga. We're going to do a live class today, adaptive yoga using a chair. So we're going to start in just a minute, but if you have a mat, you'll need a mat and you'll need a chair. I just grabbed one from my dining room table. It's the only kind of chair I have. If you have a folding chair or any sturdy chair. You'll want to set it probably on top of your mat so you're not at risk of it sliding, so it's nice and sturdy. And if you have blocks, they would be helpful. 2 blocks. If you don't, if you have 2 books. If not, you can practice without them. We're just going to use them to help when we might need to make our arms a little longer, bring the floor up to us, or if we want to bring our feet up a little higher. So if you have those, they might be helpful, but not necessary. You also might want to have a blanket, particularly if you have a hard chair, so just give you a little more cushioning. You can sit on it, or when we go into Shavasana, if you want to cover yourself with it. Again, not necessary, but could be helpful. And we're not going to necessarily use it, but if you have a bolster handy and you want to have it for support when we lean over or to put your feet on, you're welcome to grab that as well. So grab whatever props you want to use for your practice. Get yourself set up. I'm not going to play music in the background. I had it playing, but the last time I played music on a Facebook Live class, it made a buzzing noise the whole time. So if you have some soft, non-distracting music that you want to turn on that might be soothing to you, then you can go ahead and do that as well. So go ahead and take a moment and just make sure you've got yourself set up. Mat, chair, blocks if you have them, or books, maybe a blanket. And if you want to set your music up. Now, adaptive chair yoga is, yes, it can be used to adapt to someone that has some reduced mobility, maybe, but it can be used for anyone. Anytime you want to practice where you just feel you want a more supportive practice, a chair yoga class can be great for anyone. If we will start doing some gentle stretches in the chairs without any standing or a lot of pivoting from side to side. So that first section, even if you have very limited mobility, you should be able to try most of those postures. Then we'll go into another section where we're going to use the chair support for a warrior series. So we'll be moving side to side and using the chair as support for that section. And then the last section, we will stand up and use the chair as support. So at any time, if you don't want to move to the next section, you can turn the video off and stay in Shavasana. So we're going to go ahead and get started now. So go ahead and come into a seat in your chair. And you want your feet about hip distance apart, lined up with your pelvis here. All 4 corners of the feet on your floor. Now, if your chair is high and your feet don't meet the floor, this is where it might be a really good time to set those blocks there so that your feet are not dangling on your books or your blocks there. I have long legs, so I'm going to move mine to the side. But keep them where you can reach them if you have them in case you need them for something else. So let's go ahead and put all 4 corners of the feet on the mat. Find yourself a stable seat here where you're not slipping off of the chair or you're not so far back in it that you can't have any mobility. So find that equilibrium where you feel supported in your chair. Lift all 10 toes up, set them back down and feel the grounding in the earth. Roll those shoulders up and back, softening them away from your shoulders away from your ears. And you can either put your hands face down on your thighs to feel more grounded, or face up to feel more energy. And then I invite you to either close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or possibly just a soft gaze. As we begin to center ourselves into the space, into this moment, feel the support of the chair, feel the support of the ground. Knowing that this is a safe space to practice, safe place to feel supported. Bring your attention a little more internally now, noticing your breath. What does it feel like today? The breath you're starting your practice with. Noticing how it feels as it moves in and out of the body. As we inhale through the nose, if you can find that constriction in the back of the throat, that Iuji breath. It sounds like it makes a little ocean sound. Some people say it sounds more like Darth Vader, where when you exhale, you hear the sound of the ocean. Carrying this Iuji breath with you throughout your practice. Breathing in through the nose, constriction, and out through the nose. Now, if you have some sinus issues today and it's uncomfortable for you to breathe out of the nose, of course you can breathe out of your mouth. That's more comfortable to you. The point is just to be breathing big and linking your breath to the movements. On the next inhale, let's inhale from the base of the spine, stopping at the navel and pausing. Take another inhale in. Bring the breath up to the chest. Pause. And the last portion, the third part of the inhale, bring it all the way up through the throat. And exhale it out slowly with control. Noticing that breath. Let's set an intention for your practice. Something that comes naturally to your mind that maybe you want to work on or something you want to focus on. If nothing comes naturally to mind, maybe your intention is to allow this practice to support you. Explore the use of this chair practice with an open mind. And notice how it feels to be supported in your practice with this prop. When you're ready, let's inhale the arms up, bringing your fingertips up towards the ceiling, stretching up out of the side body, getting long in the body. And exhale, let's float the arms all the way down. Let them rest on the sides of your chair. Let's do that one more time. Let's inhale the arms up. Maybe this time bringing your palms together if that doesn't bother your shoulders. If it does, you can leave your arms further apart. Finding some stretch, slight tuck of the chin here, and exhale, slowly lower the arms back down towards the earth. Great job, everybody. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more movement to that. Make sure you're still grounded through all four corners of your feet. Your belly button is pulling in towards your spine, and your spine is getting nice and tall, as if something is on top of a string, on top of the crown of your head, and pulling your crown up to the ceiling. You're finding that extension in that spine here, making space in the body. Let's inhale the arms up. On the exhale, let's bend the elbows and come to a goal pose position here. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, knowing that the belly button is still pulling back towards the spine. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, we lower to goal pose. Finding space, opening that chest. Let's do that 2 more times, just following your breath. Your breath does not have to be in sync with mine. Last one, big stretch. And exhale, let's really squeeze those shoulders and open that chest. Maybe take the gaze slightly up towards the ceiling here. Feeling the opening in the front of the body. And release the arms, bringing them to our heart center. Great job, everybody. Now let's put our hands, you can put your hands either, we're going to do a seated cat-cow. You can put your hands either on your thighs, or if you want to feel more supported, you can hold on to the sides of your chair here. I'm going to use, for demonstration, I'm going to use the chair to show you. So we're going to inhale and get tall in that spine first. On the exhale, we're going to tuck our chin and round our upper back, finding our seated cat. Inhale, we're going to bring our heart and chin forward, opening up the chest, allowing the belly to pull forward in our cow. Exhale, let's tuck the chin and round for cat. Inhale, we find cow, bringing the heart forward and the chin. Opening up the front of the body. Let's do just a few more rounds of those. Just following your breath pattern. Trying to link that breath with the movement. As we warm up the spine and the shoulders. Going slow, no hurry here. Nice, gentle movements. Finish one more round and we'll meet back with our neutral, tall spine. We'll inhale the arms up towards the sky. On the exhale, we're going to take the right hand to the back of the chair. The left hand's going to come to either the outside of the thigh or the outside of the chair here. Now notice whether you feel like you need a little more space in the twist. I'm actually going to scoot my hips up a little bit, but still grounded into the mat. I'm going to get tall in my spine on the inhale. And on the exhale, I'm going to find the twist, taking my gaze over my right shoulder. Nice, gentle twist. Not trying to ratchet the body, just taking it nice and easy. And inhale, let's bring the arms back to the midline, up to the sky. Exhale, let's find the twist on the other side. Taking our gaze over our left shoulder. Getting tall in the spine. On the inhales and the exhales, we twist a tiny bit more. Being nice and gentle, this is our first twist of the day. Let's inhale, both arms back up towards the sky. Let's take that again on the right side. On the exhale. Inhale, let's rise. Exhale, let's change sides. And let's come back to the midline. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, let's bring the right arm down to the side of the chair, holding on to the chair. The left arm reaches up to the sky and up and over, opening the side of the body here. Nice lateral stretch. You can explore your position of your head, maybe taking your gaze up to your elbow. See how that feels in the body. Maybe lowering your gaze down towards the ground. Just notice how that changes things, how it changes the sensation. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Exhale, we'll change sides. And bring the upper body hand up and over. Finding the position of your head that works for you. You're rolling that right shoulder out, back a little bit to open that heart up to the sky. Or to the ceiling, as the case may be. Inhale, let's bring it all the way back up. I'm going to do that one more time on each side. Inhale, get tall. Exhale. Let's take the left arm over. Roll that left shoulder back, right shoulder forward, opening that heart and finding a place for your gaze. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, take the other side. Really feeling the space in the vertebrae and the side body. Making sure you're breathing big through the postures, not holding your breath. And release the arm back down. Good job, everybody. Let's get into those wrists a little bit here, but just make sure, I'm going to shake the feet and hands out just a little bit. Set your feet back down, about hip distance apart, toes nice and wide. Let's take the right hand out here and the left hand out, and just try to pull your fingers back towards your top forearm here. Pressing through the heels and pulling the fingers back and feeling that sensation of stretch. And then let's drop the fingers towards the mat and press the fingers back towards the underside of your forearms here. Let's reverse. And exhale down. Now let's just make a little fist here and just make some circles with your wrists here in one direction. Take your time and just notice what you're feeling. So if you feel any popping or anything, be careful, go slow. And then let's reverse the circles. Spend a lot of times on computers and our phones. It's nice to give our wrists a little love here. Stop that, shake them out. Now let's inhale and open the fingers as wide as you can get them, as if you're trying to make space between the thumb and the pinky finger. Really wide. Exhale, let's make a fist. Inhale, open nice and wide. Exhale, let's make a fist. One more time. Inhale, spread, make some space. And exhale, let's make a fist and release it and shake it out. Yeah, good job, everybody. Now let's get the feet here a little bit with the ankles. I'm going to put my hands on my thighs. You can place them on either side of your chair if that feels more stable to you. Inhale, let's press up, lift the heels and press up on the toes. And you can adjust here. If you bring the feet a little closer to your chair, you're going to get a little more of a stretch in those feet. A little further away, it'll be a little less intense. So you find the spot that works for you where you're stretching, pulling those heels up. Exhale, set the heels back down. Inhale, come up on the toes, feeling those hamstrings engage. And exhale, lower the heels to your mat. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, up on the toes. Try to find some space between the toes, spread them apart. And exhale, lower. Good job, everybody. Let's combine the wrist movement and the hamstring ankle stretch this time. So on the inhale, we're going to bring our hands, spread our fingers, and lift our heels. Spreading those toes. Exhale, make a fist and lower the heels. Inhale, we open and lift. Exhale, close and lower the heels. Do that one more time. Inhale, spread nice and wide those fingers, make some space. And exhale, squeeze the fist and lower the heels. Great job. Release the hands. Good job, everybody. Let's get into the neck a little bit. So I want you to get tall in your spine, the belly pulling up and in towards the back of the spine here. Relax those shoulders away from the ears, finding an extension in the spine. And then I want you to pretend that you have a pencil on the top of your head, and the point of the pencil is facing up towards your ceiling. And I want you to think extension as we begin to make tiny circles on the ceiling with that pencil. Imaginary circles, going slow and starting really small here. We're just trying to make tiny little circles. Thinking extension. And you can grow the circles as long as it doesn't bring up any popping or clicking or grinding. You don't want any bone on bone, damage any joints here. Finding if you find a certain spot that feels a little sticky maybe, you can stop and give it a little time there or moving. But going nice and slow. I always like to use the analogy that think of your head as a corkscrew coming out of a wine bottle. That's the movement we want, that turning and going up. So we're finding extension as we're doing it. And then find your way back to center. Inhale big and exhale, just drop just the chin towards the chest here. Maybe feeling some nice stretch and sensation in the back of the neck, in the upper part of the back. Inhale, let's bring the head back to center. Getting tall with the inhale. Let's begin to make those tiny circles with our head going in the opposite direction this time. Starting small. And thinking of extension is the most important part of this movement. Grow the circles as long as no snap, crackles, or pops show up. They are not invited to the party here. Carrying your breath with you, and sometimes it's helpful to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that, just to notice where you're actually feeling the sensations. There might be a tight spot that might need a little extra love. And when you're ready, let's bring our head back to neutral. Inhale. On the exhale, jot your chin out, bringing it towards ceiling and extending it, the lower lip beyond the upper lip here. So you can stretch the front of the neck here. Looks kind of silly, but it's a really good stretch. And release. Bring your head back to neutral. Let's take a cleansing breath. Let's inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, lower the hands towards our heart center. And release them down beside us, finding our Tadasana, palms forward. Maybe closing the eyes and just reconnecting with that Ayuji breath. And if your eyes are closed, let's flutter the eyes open, and let's get into the hamstrings and the hip flexors a little bit. And you may, again, need to adjust yourself on your chair to a position that feels more comfortable to you. But I'm going to hold on to each side of my chair here, and I'm actually going to scoot myself up just a little bit, but keeping myself stable because I have long legs. Inhale and get tall in the spine. On the exhale, I'm going to extend my right leg out, setting my heel on the mat, and pulling my toes back towards my shin. So I'm finding a nice stretch in the back of the calf and the hamstring here. A little bit of flexion in the hip flexor on the side. Now this may be enough sensation for you, and you can stay right here and breathe into the sensation. If you feel like your body could use a little more and you feel stable in your chair, holding on, you can lean your torso forward to increase the sensation. Staying here for a few big breaths. Toes pulling toward the shin. Not locking out the knee. And when you're ready, if you have extended your torso forward, carefully bring your torso back up, pulling the belly button in. Release the flex on the toes and bring that foot back to our hip width apart with our sole on the mat. We'll go to the other side now. So holding on to wherever is comfortable for you. Inhale, exhale, let's extend the left leg this time. Again, not locking out the knee, and pulling the toes back towards the shin here. Feeling the stretch in the hamstrings and calves on this side. Just noticing what it feels like in your body right here where you're at. If you feel like your body needs a little more sensation, a little more stretch, more flexion in this hip flexor here, then you can slowly, with the belly pulled in, extend your torso forward. Just going slow. Find that first place of resistance where your body starts to tell you it probably wants you to stop. And then either stop there or just a tiny nudge, but not blowing past it. We never want to move past our edge in a posture. Our edge is that place of first resistance plus a nudge, and that's where we grow in the postures. If you move past that, then your body has to shut down, and you're really not going to get the results you want, and you also might have a chance of injuring yourself. So listen to your body. A few deep breaths here. Maybe pull the toes a little closer to the shin. Feeling that stretch. When you're ready, if you've extended forward, pull the belly button towards the spine. Inhale the torso back up. And unwind the leg and bring the leg back hip distance apart with both soles of the feet on the mat. Great job, everybody. All right, let's get in a little bit of leg opening this hip, a little external rotation, a little bit of movement here. First of all, you take your hands, put them behind your right thigh and interlace them right behind the thigh here. Get tall, inhale, straighten the arms, get tall in the spine, belly button in. On the exhale, just lifting the foot off the ground. Now for some of you, that may be enough. If this is a nice movement for you, this is a nice place to be, then stay here. Otherwise, you can actually take your leg out to the right, pulling the knee toward the right side of the body, keeping the left foot grounded into the mat. And if your leg is out to the side, let's bring it back in and release it down. Good job, everybody. Let's do that another time on this side. Inhale, lift the foot. And exhale, maybe open the foot if that's working for you. You can use one hand or two to support if that feels better for you. And I'm actually going to scoot my bottom up a little bit, and I want to make little circles here. Just opening up that hip. Again, you can use two hands to support your leg if that feels better. Now maybe reverse those circles. Just getting into that nice hip joint there. And if you're making circles, bring your foot back. Meet us here and release the foot. Great job. Let's go to the other side. Knowing that when we go from one side of the body to the other, it may not always feel the same. Some of us have a hip that's tighter than the other. Just notice that as you go through. Maybe in a different place on this side. So let's interlace the hands behind the left thigh. Get tall in the spine on the inhale. Exhale, let's lift the left foot off the ground. Now stop here and just notice. Does this hip feel a little different? Maybe you want to stay here on this side. Maybe you want to extend the knee out to the left. I'm going to use one hand and support myself with my right, but you can hold the leg with two hands if that feels better for you. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, you can explore going to the left if that's working for your body. Staying here or maybe beginning to make circles with that foot as we open up that hip. Noticing how that feels. Noticing if it feels better to support your leg with two hands or one. And then maybe reversing those circles if you're making circles. Bring the knee back towards the midline and releasing the foot to the mat. Great job, everybody. Yeah, so now we're going to add on to that a little bit with a little bit of extension here. And you can, if your feet are on the floor and you're having trouble reaching, you always use these blocks to put your feet on, or your books, if you have short legs. So you can always make that adjustment if you need to. I'm going to put them out to the side because my legs are pretty long. So I'm going to put my arms behind my right thigh again and get tall on the inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to lift that knee, and this time I'm going to add on and I'm going to cross the ankle over my left thigh here, coming into this figure four position. Now check in here, making sure that this is not bringing up any pain. We want to flex the top foot to protect this kneecap. Now it's perfectly okay if your knee is up higher. Our bodies are all different. That's okay. Whatever position your body's in this figure four, I'm going to hold on to the sides of the chair for support and get tall. And just kind of notice where I'm feeling this in my hip and my knee. And if this feels like pain, then please bring your leg out of it and meet and hold your thigh up like we did in the last pose. But if you're in the figure four, your top foot is flexed, you're noticing what you're feeling here, assessing. And then if you feel like your body is asking for a little bit more, pull that belly button in, inhale, and exhale, begin to lean the torso forward. Remembering our edge here, that first place of resistance and a tiny little tap. This can be quite intense, so listen to your body. Might be feeling a stretch on the inside of the groin, the outer hip on both hips maybe even the low back.
Sometimes it's helpful, like I said, to close your eyes and really just notice where you're feeling it on this side of your body. Connect to the breath. Remember that Ayunji breath. Or if you're breathing out of your mouth, that's fine, just breathing big. One more big breath here. Fill up the side body, the back body, the abdomen with air. Exhale, pressing into the chair, pulling the belly button in and lifting the torso back up very gently. Taking your hands on the thigh to help lift your leg off and release it to your mat. Great job, everybody. We're going to go to the other side with that beginner's mind. We're not going to anticipate where we're going to go on this side. We're going to let our body tell us where to go. So I'm going to interlace my hands behind my left thigh, pressing into my right foot. Inhale, lift the left leg up, crossing the ankle over the right thigh. If that's working for your body. If not, stay in this position. I'm going to flex that top foot to protect my kneecap here. Notice what I'm feeling. Again, one side of your body, the knee may have been up much higher than the other. Most of us, particularly women, have a tighter hip. So it's good to notice that. Learn your body. Connect to the breath and just maybe close the eyes and notice the sensations here. For me, this is my tighter hip. I may not want to go forward. I may want to stay right here and sit with the sensation here. If your body's asking for a little more, inhale, pull the belly button in, and exhale, begin to lower the torso forward. Just nice and slow till you find that edge, respecting the edge, and staying with the breath. More big breath in. Let's fill up the back body. Feel the air in the rib cage, the abdomen. On the exhale, holding onto the chair, pulling the belly button in and lifting the torso back up nice and slow. I'm going to use my hand behind my thigh to help me lift that leg off of my thigh and gently set it back to the mat. Great job, everybody. Take an inhale. Let's lift the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, lower the arms. Let's inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, lower the arms to the chair. Let's bring our legs, stance a little wider. Bring our legs out to the left and the right. I'm going to move my blocks over here so I'm not kicking them. We have a wider stance here, my toes slightly pointed out here, kind of those goddess legs. I'm going to put my hands on my thighs. If you want more support than that, you can hold on to the chair. So I'll show the first one with holding on to the chair. We're going to do some shoulder dips. I'm going to inhale and get tall in my spine. Exhale, I'm going to drop my left shoulder in towards the midline here. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, let's drop the right shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Now I feel pretty supported in my chair, so I'm going to put my hands on my thighs, but you can continue to hold on to the chair for better support. Inhale, exhale, let's drop the left shoulder, really stretching through the body here. Inhale, I come up. Keep the chin slightly tucked. Exhale, let's go to the other side. Moving slow. Let's go through a few more rounds of these shoulder dips, just allowing your breath and your body to dictate the pace. And let's come all the way back up. Great job, everybody. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, find our goddess arms. Inhale, come up. And exhale to goddess arms. Pull in the belly button. Last one. Inhale, get nice and tall. Find the stretch and exhale. Let's really squeeze those shoulder blades together. Releasing the arms. I'm going to bring the legs back to parallel with my hips. Soles of the feet on the mat here. And this is where you may want your blocks, if you have them, to assist you. I'm going to set them on either side of my feet. Here, mine are on the tallest setting. You may not need them. If you don't have them, you can certainly do this without it. We're going to fold forward. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, I'm going to place my hands on my thighs and begin to fold my torso forward. Here, make sure you've got a good seat. I'm actually going to scoot my bottom back a little bit so I have a little more support. And fold my torso towards my thighs. Releasing my head. Maybe bringing your hands to blocks. Whatever level, depending on how long your arms are. Or some of you with very long arms and maybe a little mobility in your back might want to bring your hands to the mat. Tucking the chin a little bit. Feeling all four corners of the feet grounded. When you're ready, placing your hands on your shin and bringing yourself up to a flat back, a half lift. And then exhale forward the torso and allow the head to hang. Maybe shaking the head, yes. Your hands can be on your feet, the blocks, or the mat. Inhale, let's straighten the back, bringing our hands to our shin, finding our half flat back here. Exhale, we're going to fold. Really let the head be heavy. Releasing some tension in the neck. Maybe shaking the head, yes. Maybe shaking the head, no. Finding some stillness in the posture. Inhale, bring your hands to your shin. Come up to that flat back. Pull the belly button and then roll yourself all the way back up one vertebrae at a time. Allowing your shoulders and then your head to be the last to rise up. Keeping your chin tight, slightly tucked. Sometimes being in an inversion like that makes you a little dizzy. So the tucking the chin when you come up helps with that. Stop here and make sure that you don't feel dizzy. And then lift your chin. Great job, everybody. Now, the next portion of the class is going to be a warrior portion. We're going to be moving side from side to the chair. And then we'll follow that with a standing series. So if you feel uncomfortable with too much movement into chair to chair, you don't feel stable, you can take your blocks if you have them. If you want to lift your feet. Let's all do that. Either if your feet don't meet the ground, or even if they do and you have blocks and you want to set your feet for a little more elevation, bring our hands to heart center and lean back into our chair. And if this is as far as you want to go in your practice today, you can turn the tape off and stay here with your eyes closed and find your Shavasana. Those of you that want to continue on, let's just stay here for a couple breaths. Maybe allowing the palms to lay on our thighs, relaxing the shoulders. Couple more breaths. Noticing how our body feels, supported by the chair. And if you're going to continue on to the next segment, just lift our torso back up, remove our feet from the blocks. Set my blocks off to the side here. Take a big breath. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, release. Now we're going to shift our body to the right. So I'm going to take my right foot on the side of my chair on the mat here. So my left knee is going to drop towards my mat. So I'm sitting on my right hip on the chair. Move my blocks out of my way here. Find your stability here. You can hold on to the back of your chair, the front of the chair, and extend the bottom leg, the left leg back, up on the toes, pressing through the heel here. Bringing the belly button in. You can stay here if you feel like you need to hold on for stability. Or if you feel pretty stable, you can lift your arms up and find your crescent lunge. Pressing back through the heel, but grounding through the front foot as well. Finding some strength in our lunge. Connecting to that breath. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Really engaging that back leg so you can feel it in your hamstrings and your glutes. Pressing through the front foot. Inhale, exhale as windmill the arms out, finding warrior 2, dropping the back heel. Press through that back heel. Finding warrior 2. Finding space between the front fingertip and the back, our gaze over our middle finger in the front. Inhale, let's flip the front arm and back end comes to thigh, reverse our warrior. Bringing our gaze up. Finding some opening in the front of the body here. Couple breaths. Inhale, exhale, bring the right arm to the right thigh. Extend the left arm up and around, over top of the ear, pressing the pinky finger down, pressing through the back heel and pulling through that pinky finger. Finding an extension all through that side body as if there's a line of energy running from your heel all the way through, up through the fingertips and shooting out in our extended side angle. Our gaze can come up to our elbows. We open our chest. Take 2 more big breaths. When you're ready, inhale, let's reverse our warrior. Gaze to the sky. Exhale, let's lower the arm. Placing our hands on the chair for support, shifting our hips back and forward, and bringing our feet into goddess pose here, into goddess legs. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center and drop them to our Tadasana, palms forward. Maybe taking a moment to close your eyes, just noticing the sensations in your body. Noticing how those postures felt supported by the chair. Maybe you actually found a little more in your posture than you do when you use it as a standing pose. Flutter the eyes open. We're going to go to the other side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, we lower. Shift to the left. Bringing our left foot onto the side of our chair. Our right knee drops towards the mat. So we're sitting on our left hip here. Again, holding on to the back of the chair for stability. In the front, you can extend the right leg back up on the toes. Pressing through that heel, engaging those quads, those glutes here, hamstring, and equal weight distribution in the front foot. Holding on here for stability if that's working better for you. Or raising the arms, finding our crescent lunge. Connecting to that breath, maybe nudging the left hip back and the right hip forward a little. Really pressing through that back heel, finding some engagement and strength in the posture. Inhale, let's windmill the arms open, finding our warrior 2, dropping to the inside edge of our back foot, pressing through that back heel. Gaze over our middle finger in the front. Getting nice and long wingspan here in the arms. Pressing through that front inhale, reverse the palm and find our reverse warrior on this side. Your gaze can be up, or if it bothers your neck, you can take your gaze down. Inhale the arms up, bringing the right arm, forearm to the left, to the right thigh. Left arm comes up and over, pulling through that pinky finger, pressing through that back heel. Finding that line of energy in our extended side angle here. Taking a moment to just notice how this pose feels supported by the chair. We're opening the heart to the sky a little better, maybe taking the gaze up. Pressing through that back heel, pressing through that front foot, inhale, and reverse our warrior. Release the arms to the chair. Very carefully bringing them towards the hips forward, finding our goddess pose again. reaching the arms up, and exhaling the hands through heart center here. Great job, everybody. Release my hands to my thighs, and we're going to go into the standing portion of the class here. Again, if you don't feel comfortable or don't want to do a standing posture, we're going to use a chair support. You can stop here and take your Shavasana. Turn the video off. So if you want to do the standing portion, go ahead and hold on to your chair, press into your feet, pull the belly button in, and lift yourself off through your chair. You can leave your chair the way it is. I'm going to turn mine sideways just so you can see me better. So we're going to come standing in front of our chair. We're going to inhale the arms up. We're going to exhale. We're going to bring our hands down to our chair. Make sure it's nice and stable. Walk our feet back. Move my block out of the way. Walk our feet back, pressing through the heels and dropping our head and shoulders through our arms, finding our modified down dog here. Opening it up to the upper part of the back, not locking out the knees. And you can adjust your distance depending on the length of your legs and the length of your arms. Taking a couple breaths here. Your gaze back to your belly button. You ready? Let's walk those feet in a little bit. Just a step or two here. Bringing our head up. I'm going to bring my right foot up, right up to the inside edge of my chair here. My left foot I'm going to bring back parallel so that my front heel is lined up with the arch of my back foot. I'm going to straighten the front leg and inhale the right arm up, stacking my shoulders, finding triangle. Not sure if you can see me very well, moving a little bit. You can gaze me straight ahead, or you can take your gaze up to the ceiling if it doesn't bother your neck. And a couple breaths in our triangle. Inhale, find expansion. Exhale, release the left arm back down to the chair. So both hands are on the chair now. I'm going to bend into my right foot here a little bit, and I'm going to lift my back leg, finding half moon. I've got my hands on the seat of my chair, but you can hold on to the sides if that feels more stable. Pressing through the back heel, not locking out the standing leg. Finding your breath. Inhale, exhale, bending the top leg and bringing it down to meet the right. And then again, I'm going to hold on to the sides of my chair here, and I'm going to launch into Warrior 3. So that left leg, I've got my pelvis facing the chair now, both sides of the pelvis. I'm going to lift my left leg up and bring my torso parallel with my hips. Gaze down, finding Warrior 3 here. Pressing through that back heel. Maybe straightening out the arms if I feel supported. And exhale, let's bring that leg back to match the other. Inhale, maybe raise the arms up. Exhale, we're going to do that on the other side. Bring our hands back and walk ourselves back to our down dog. Dropping our head, pressing through our heels. Really opening through the collarbones here. Connecting to that breath. When you're ready, I'm going to take the opposite foot this time. My left foot in between the chair. Bring my right foot out parallel so the heel of my front foot is lined with the arch of my back. Left foot into the center of the chair. And inhale the right arm up to the sky. Finding triangle here. Really pressing through all four corners of both feet. Feeling really strong and supported in this pose. Exhale, I'm going to bring the right arm back down. Step the back foot in a little bit, just a little. Pressing through the right foot, I'm going to raise my left foot and raise my right arm, finding half moon. Make sure you're stable. Release the right arm. Bring the left foot back to meet the right foot back to meet the left, and then we'll set up for Warrior 3. I'm going to hold on to the sides of my chair this time, a little more stable. Inhale, raise the right foot back up to the sky. finding warrior three, maybe finding extension in the arms, tucking the left hip back and the right hip forward. Not locking out the standing leg though. Don't want to lock out a joint. And let's exhale, slowly lower that leg back to meet the other. And inhale the arms back up. Going careful. Exhale our hands to our heart center. We're going to go into our final posture, Shavasana. You can do that a couple ways. You can do it on your chair, like we showed earlier in the class. Maybe put your feet on blocks. If you have a blanket, you want to put it over your lap or over your body. So we'd set up for our Shavasana, or seated. Or if you prefer and you feel stable and more mobile, you can carefully bring yourself up off the chair, lowering one knee, lowering the other, bringing my hand down, one hand on the mat, one hand on the chair, then coming down to my hip. I'm going to bring my blanket to the back of my mat so I can rest my head on it. And I'm going to lift one leg up onto the chair and then the second leg on the chair. And lower back, finding legs supported on the chair, Shavasana. Now I'm going to come up so I can talk to you. But you can take whichever version of Shavasana that you want. I'm going to take the seated one so that you can hear my voice. I just lay my blanket, put my feet on my blocks, my palms either face up or face down, whether you're on the mat or on your chair. And go ahead and close your eyes if that feels good to you. Or soften your gaze. And then find some stillness and calm in your Shavasana. Let everything go. No longer trying to control the breath. Allow the body to be soft. Just give yourself permission to be in the moment and nowhere else for just a few more minutes. Feeling supported by the chair, supported by your mat and the ground, depending on your position. Feeling supported in your practice. Noticing the sounds that this beautiful singing bowl makes. Begin to make some gentle movements to the body, just introducing a movement, whether it's a wiggle of the toes or the fingers. And pausing after each movement you make in the body to notice what that does, notice how that feels. After coming out of our Shavasana. side to side. Maybe gentle circles of the wrists. Maybe gentle circles of the ankles. If you're on your mat with your legs on your chair, gently lift them off of the chair, tucking your knees into your chest and rolling onto one side. With your eyes closed, if you're in a seated Shavasana, maybe removing your feet slowly from your blocks. Bringing your hands to rest on your thighs. Bringing your awareness back to the intention you set at the beginning of your practice. Reminding yourself of that intention, whether it was to be supported in your practice or whether it was another intention that you set for yourself. Sit with it for just a moment. When you're ready, if you're on your mat, use your hands to very gently bring you back up to a seated position. Taking your time, going slowly. You're in your chair, maybe adjusting yourself to sit a little more erect. Finding a little more movement and strength in your seated position. Taller spine. Whether you're seated on your mat or on your chair. Lift our arms to the sky, awakening the body, still feeling supported with the chair, the mat. Bringing our palms together and rubbing them. And then lowering our hands through to our heart center. Allowing the thumbs to rest on our sternum. A moment just to feel supported by our practice, supported by each other in this virtual community. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Thank you for showing up to try something new, something supported, and realizing there are all types of yoga that can be for every person. The light in me recognizes and honors and misses the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you all for showing up. This will be saved to my page. You can play it back at any time. As you noticed, I did it in segments, so you can progress to whatever segment feels good to you. There's also an entire library on my Facebook page of all types of yoga classes that you can play back anytime you want to throw your mat down. Stay tuned for pop-up classes outdoors when we have pretty weather and other Facebook Live classes. Thank you so much. Oh, and if you've showed up either live or later, put something in the comments, hello or something, so that I know that you're there. I've often said when I do these Facebook Live classes, you can see me, but I can't see you. And it helps me feel a little more connected as I'm teaching. Thank you all. Have a great day. Namaste.